Okay, I'm just having to do this as a separate part of the video. I don't know if it just cut off there, but the school prayer came in and it cut off my computer. So let's have a little look at question 5 again. The hydrogen goes from +1 to +1, so that doesn't get oxidized or reduced. What we're finding here is oxygen is going from -1 to -2, and some oxygen is going from -1 to 0. It's not as weird as it sounds. You've got two molecules of H2O2 and oxygens end up in different places. Some of the oxygens end up as O2-, some of them end up as oxygen gas. Right, so whenever you've got this one element being oxidized and reduced, it is redox and it is disproportionation. All right? Because disproportionation is a type of redox. That's absolutely fine. Has my video just gone weird again? No, that seems okay. So the species so there's only one chemical, H2O2, and that means that H2O2 is the oxidizing agent, the reducing agent. It gets oxidized and it gets reduced, so you just write that across there. All right, I'm going to speed up now. Not redox. I'm going to do one other one here. So Cl2 is 0, H2O is +1, -2, H plus is +1, Cl is -1, oxygen is 0. So chlorine goes from 0 to -1, so it is redox. The oxygen goes from -2 to 0. All right, chlorine goes from 0 to -1, that's reduction. So Cl2 gets reduced. That means Cl2 is the oxidizing agent. The water goes from -2 to 0, so the oxygen in water is getting oxidized from -2 to 0, so water must be the reducing agent. I'm just looking at this now. This is not redox either. I'm seeing that straight away. Barium 2+, barium 2+, sulfate, SO4, sulfate. Nothing is changing there. That's not redox. That wasn't disproportionate, so that's easy. This one, this is disproportionation. I must have done this earlier on a different video. The chlorine starts off as 0, and then the chlorine, two chlorine atoms like that split up. One of them ends up in NaCl as a minus, one of them ends up over here as a plus. So it's redox and it is disproportionation. Alright, the species that's oxidized and the species that's reduced is chlorine, Cl2. That's that. Alright, end of school, isn't it? Nearly done. Right, H plus, +1, oxygen -2, manganate, +6, I think, yeah. MnO4-, I know that one, +7, -2. MnO2 here, oxygen is -2, manganese must be +4, hydrogen is +1, oxygen is -2. This feels disproportionation-y to me. Disproportionation-y. You try saying that. Right, manganese goes from +6 to +7. Manganese goes from +6 to +4. This is redox and disproportionation. The manganate, MnO4-, is getting oxidized and reduced, so it's MnO4, 2-, is both of those chemicals. Final one. Nitrogen, 0, hydrogen +1, oxygen -2. Chromium, oxygen in there, -2, chromium, +3. Over this side then, oxygen, -2. Right, chromium here. Now I'm going to delve into this a little bit more. I recognise this NH4 as being the ammonium ion. So, let me just have a little look. How would I best explain this? Alright, I'm going to see this. If you've got this, NH4 twice, Cr2O7, I think it's best to think of it as NH4 plus, or two of them, and Cr2O7 2-. It's the hardest question, it's the last one, so just deal with it. Alright, I think this is an easier way to look at the oxidation states. Right, the chromium in this, -14, oxygen is -2, so that's -14, +6. The chromium there is +6. I can help you with this in class later if you didn't get that. The ammonia, right, hydrogen is +1, sorry, the ammonium. The hydrogen in here, +1, +2, +3, +4. the nitrogen must be -3. I think. Yes, it is. Right, -3. -3 is the nitrogen plus 1. Right then, do I notice any changes? Nitrogen goes from -3 to 0. Alright, -3 to 0 is oxidation. Alright, this NH4 plus, this part is getting oxidized. Alright, chromium inside this compound goes from +6 to +3. That's getting reduced. Wow, so it is a redox reaction. It's not disproportionation because it's not the same elements being oxidized and reduced. But what is the species that's oxidized? Whoa, how would you word this? It's the nitrogen in the ammonium. Right, you know what? I'll talk about this in class next time. Can you see here? It's the nitrogen in the NH4 plus that's going from -3 to 0. And it's the chromium in Cr2O7 2- that's going like that. I'll think how best to word that in class, but I am done. Final little summary then. Front page, oxidation states. Second page, writing half equations. Third page, combining half equations. Fourth page, really useful. This page is my favourite. Next page, we learned a little bit about oxidizing agents and reducing agents, but there's still a bit more work from me to do on that. But this sheet should look something like this. I'm not quite sure what to say about this last one. I'll see what Chem Sheet says. I hope that's all right. See you next week.